So, in the beginning of Swan Lake, you see kind of a similar story to Hades and Persephone. You see a young girl who's kind of just living life and dancing and having fun, and then you see this kind of, I don't know if he's a dark lord or kind of just dark person or dark wizard that approaches her, and he's drawn to her by her beauty, and he just wants to lure her into his darkness, and he lures other young women into his darkness as well. And so it's kind of a very cool similarity to Hades and Persephone, where the young girl is drawn into the darkness and by the Dark Lord. And it was another cool thing that I wanted to use in Beauty Redeemed. But another thing you see, so when she's lured there, she changes her into a swan, and she's forever trapped there to turn into a swan. And then she turns into a person, obviously, every night when the moon rises. But this prince comes and he sees her, and he's ready to kill her, actually, because he thinks she's a swan, and he's just on a hunt to distract himself because his mother wants him to marry a princess, and that's the last thing he wants to do with his life right now. He wants to explore and go live life and not be tied down to his princely duties right yet. And so he goes on this hunt with his friends, and he's ready to kill this swan because it's so beautiful, and he thinks, oh, that'd be a great prize to have. And so just as he's about to kill her, she changes into a swan, or into the human form. And so when he sees her human form, he's just awestruck by her beauty. And so he wants to break the curse and figure out how to free her from this curse and this transformation. And she tells him only an act of true love can save her. So he invites her to this ball that he's having at his palace, and she promises to come, but then the evil lord finds out, and he sends the wrong person in her place. And so the prince pledges his love to the wrong person. And as a result, the princess dies because he pledged his love to the wrong person. And so he finds out, and he runs to the lake to try to save her. And he, through an act of sacrificial love, releases her from her curse and all the others that were cursed. And so that was a really cool correlation for me. The prince coming in and kind of making that sacrifice and that declaration of love for her, and how that love and that sacrifice set her free. And so I incorporated a lot of that into this book, and obviously that's a direct reflection of Christ's sacrifice for us and his death on the cross. I mean, we are creatures of sin and darkness, and it's not until we accept his love for us that we are redeemed and we're transformed. We're released from our dark forms back into the creatures of light that we are designed to be. And so both of these stories, both Hades and Persephone and Swan Lake, were just kind of really cool stories that I just found a lot of elements in that worked really well with the story of Beauty Redeemed and different things. You do see kind of different elements of Swan Lake in it too, and not just Swan Lake, but one of my favorite adaptations was the Swan Princess growing up, so I kind of incorporated some of that into it. But just the idea of sacrifice and all that was really prevalent in this book, and you'll see that in order to be released from the darkness, a sacrifice has to be made, and it's not just any sacrifice. It has to be an actual blood sacrifice, and it has to be made in true love. And so only the redeeming redemption of love can save people. And so that was something I really incorporated into this book too.